Information is power. Information is power.
Welcome, everybody, to the Information Man Show. I'm sorry for the delay. There was some technical problems in the background here, but I won't keep you long tonight. I'm going to get right to the point. I want to say peace to Marlo's Music channel that's in the house. I want to say peace to Mr. Male Advice is in the house. We got AC is in the house if she's still here. Tommy D. My man Tommy's in the house. Tisha's in the house. BT is in the house. ADOS to you all out there. Peace to you. Once again, I'm sorry for the delay in the program. Had some technical difficulties. Realized there was something that I need to put into the system to make it all come together. What I want to do tonight in this presentation, and I thank you all out there for being here, is that I'm not only going to talk about George Floyd. You all know the story behind George Floyd, so I'm not going to bore you with the details and things of that nature. I'm going to get right to the points around the videotape and audio tape that was it was leaked by the Daily Mail, which is a British publication, news rag in the UK, and it seems like someone leaked it through recording it off of a computer, which the police, I think, had this data that they did not release to the general public, which they should have, okay? And these despicable police right here, the criminals, as you can see on the screen there, they deserve all that they get, all that they can handle, because they were criminal-minded in the way they did things. Once again, welcome to the Information Man Show. I'm sorry for the late delay. Had technical difficulties, but I'm on now. So let's get it going. We got everyday people in the house, free traders in the house. Oh, we got Sister Tiffany in the house. Make sure you all check out her channel, Positive Sister. Definitely still am planning to get her on this program and interview her at some point in time. I'm booked up. As far as the interview with the brothers of Socks and Sandals, that interview will be on Sunday. I made contact with them. He was not available this past Saturday, so we scheduled it for this Sunday at 12 noon Western time, which will be 2 o'clock Midwest time and 3 o'clock Eastern time. So this upcoming Sunday, I will be interviewing the brother from Socks and Sandals podcast, and shout out to the Socks and Sandals podcast. And let me say shout out to the Off the Record podcast. I interviewed them. Those brothers are fantastic wherever they are out there in Baltimore. Thank you too. I want to shout you out as well. But I have that brother for this Sunday, and we will. You all saw my controversial, a very successful and controversial video that I did on Jane Elliott. That interview with him will be a follow-up to that video because he actually interviewed her. And I'm anxious to see what his reaction was to some of the things that she said that were problematic around the issues of reparations and things of that nature. And you saw me break down the data, the numbers as it relates to, for the most part, black people, reparations and things that are due us economically in this society. So I'm going to get with those brothers on Sunday. Just wanted to remind everybody about that. And so keeping with what we're talking about tonight about George Floyd, I'm not only going to touch on George Floyd in the situation that happened to that young brother, but I am also going to get into the situation with the children, the young family, the black family that was mistreated by the police, mishandled, the whole 9 yards. What I have tonight is the actual video, and this is sensitive. So I want to remind everybody, this is going to be a sensitive broadcast around that issue as well. So I've got the footage of that, as long as the footage with George Floyd. And I got lucky tonight and got some audio footage of I think it was Miss Brittany, either the mother or the auntie of the children, speaking out and going into more deeper details as it relates to what happened to them by the police. So I definitely want to go into that. I also want to talk about this place right here tonight. Very important. This place right here is let me put that up there, let you see that like so, everybody. But this has to be that right there, the Cups food store. I'm going to talk about them because that store just opened back up on, if you don't know this already, this past Monday. There's a lot of people out there that are protesting, that are not happy about this establishment being open at all. They don't want it open. You see right there, they're confronting one of the spokespersons of this store. By the name of, the spokesperson is saying that they understand the pain of the community, but they feel that, hey, we need to open up. When is the right time to open up? The problem is that people have been putting barricades next to the store. They want the side wall to the south to remain as you can see here, they want it to remain this way as George Floyd. They want that to remain a memorial. But the people are very indifferent about the store, because the store is the epicenter to why this man led to his death, because there was a a notion, some sort of thought that George Floyd was somehow, how can we say it? He was somehow had a illegal counterfeit $20 bill, which is problematic, folks, on all accounts, because there's been no proof that this brother had a counterfeit bill that I know of by the police. There's been no evidence that's come up to prove all that out. So this is why I want to examine that, because if he did present a fake $20 bill, why hasn't the police, the news, or anyone identified the actual bill? Matter of fact, the people who own the Cup Food store, why haven't they themselves come show up, present the evidence, Exhibit A, Exhibit B? This is the dollar that he tried to fool us with. So this is the breaking news that I'll be getting into tonight to examine these areas. And the family, I have to say, what happened to, let's see, you had a 17-year-old, you had a 6-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 12-year-old, if I'm correct, that were mistreated by the Arroyo, Colorado police. And this is the same police department that has had a lot of issues, ladies and gentlemen. This is a police department that has a history. This is the police department that killed Elijah McClain, the young man. They ejected him without a doctor's order, without proper training. They injected that young man with drugs. That young man was walking home. He had a mask on because he was anemic. He was sort of an eccentric type of brother. He even warned them. And you can see in the video clip of that the young man meant no harm. He had nothing but good intentions. And let me just play a little bit of this for you to hear. This is Elijah McClain. Let me just play this for you.
Stop right there. Stop. 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 I have a right to stop you because you're being suspicious.
Well, okay.
Turn around.
No,
Turn around.
actually, your hands, bro.
Turn around. Stop. Stop tensing up, dude. Stop tensing up, bro. Stop tensing up. This isn't going to go well, dude. Stop tensing up.
Who is sketchy? I don't know if
Okay.
a good person or a bad person.
Yeah.
But masks on.
I am an introvert. Please respect the boundaries that I am speaking.
Relax.
Stop.
Relax.
Stop. I'm going home.
Relax, or I'm going to have to
Leave
change
me
this
alone.
situation, dude. Hey, stop.
Leave me alone.
Sir, can you please cooperate?
You leave me alone.
No, we're gonna talk to
You
you.
guys started to arrest me, and I was stopping.
So I'm going to stop it there. You all have heard that. And this is the same police department that harassed the family that basically killed Elijah McClain. They killed that young man. The young man had no weapons on him. He was not a threat. He was he was eccentric. He tried to let them know that he was an introvert. He told them about, please don't touch me. He was polite. He was not aggressive. Of course, they depicted him as aggressive, just like they did brother George Floyd. So tonight, what I want to do is I want to present to you the video that some of you have already seen already, but I want to add more context to this tonight. So we're going to get this started as soon as possible, starting with George Floyd and what happened to him. So let me first, let me merge this over real quick.
You ready?
No, I don't. My name's Shawan Renee Hill. Sir. I just came over to get my phone to see I don't have a purse or nothing. And my daughter is on her way to get
Over here,
me.
ladies and gentlemen.
What's the deal?
I don't know. That's my ex. I don't know.
Why is he getting all squirrely and not showing us his hands and just being all weird like that?
Because he's been shot before.
Well, I get that, but still, we're not going to take it out of the car. Is he drunk? Is he on something?
Oh, he got a thing going on. I'm telling you
What
about
does
the
that mean?
police. We have problems all the time.
So what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring it back to the beginning because I know some of you So here we go. This is the beginning. This is additional footage that you may not have heard on the audio, or that you may not have seen on news sites and things of that nature. Maybe you've seen this full audio, this full video, but here it goes again. I'm going to play it again.
I see your hands. Stay in the car. Let me see your other hand.
I'm sorry.
Let me see your other hand.
Please,
both hands.
do nothing.
Put your hands up right now. Let me see your other hand.
All right. What I do though? What we do?
Put your hand up there. Put your hand up there. Hands on the wheel. Hands on the wheel.
I'm sorry, brother.
Who else is in the car?
This is my
Put
friend.
your foot back in.
I'm so sorry. God dang, man. Man, I got shot the same way as I was before.
Okay, well, when I say let me see your hands, you put your hands up.
I'm so sorry, bro.
You got them?
Man, dang, man.
Put your hands on top of your head.
Last time I got shot like that was I was
Hands on top of your head. Hands on top of your head. Step out of the vehicle and step away from me, all right? Step out and face away. Step out and face away.
Please don't shoot me. Please, man.
I'm not going to shoot you. Step out and face away.
I'm going to get out of here, man. Please don't shoot me, man.
Don't shoot me, man.
Please, man. I just lost my mom, man.
Step out and face away.
So sorry.
Step out and face away.
Please don't shoot me, Mr. Officer. Please. Don't shoot me, man.
Step out and face away.
Can you not shoot me, man?
I'm not shooting you. Step out.
Okay. Sorry about that. I forgot to take the volume off my system, so I want to say I apologize for that. Let me say what I was trying to say over. Thank you for reminding me Lady Unstoppable, that I had the volume turned off there. My fault, folks. So what I was saying is that it's a shame that Floyd had to beg for his life the way he did. Let's play this back and let's fade this in right now.
Step out and face away. Step out and face away.
Please don't shoot me, Mr. Officer. Please don't shoot me, man.
Step out and face away.
Can you not shoot me, man?
I'm not shooting. Step out.
That's what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. You're hearing him beg. What I was saying earlier when unfortunately my mute was, my volume was on mute, is that it seemed like we're back in the 1800s, the 1700s, the 1600s, when you had slavery and black people had to say things like, please, master, please don't harm me. It's really a shame that George had to say those sort of things. And then what I was also trying to say is that this man had guns drawn on him by the cop. I think that was Lane, one of these despicable officers, Lane, who drew the gun on him. Let me put this back up here. Who drew the gun on him. And this is all over a $20 bill, supposedly that it was counterfeit. And as I was saying earlier, there's been no proof to date that this man presented a legitimate $20 bill that was fake. Why couldn't they simply have gotten him out of the car, got the clerk from the store to present the supposedly fake $20 bill? Why couldn't the police had tested that $20 bill to see if it was counterfeit? They could have done all of that without doing what they did to George Floyd, if that was in fact the truth. But we're finding out that it may possibly not be the truth because they never presented a fake $20 bill. Not the news, not the police, not the Minneapolis police. Nothing has been brought to bear to this date that defines that the man had a fake $20 bill. We're talking about George Floyd here, a man who should have never had to experience what he experienced, ladies and gentlemen. And so once again, this is the leaked footage of what they did to him. Let me go back into that right now, and let's make us do what we got to make it do.
Okay, please, man. Please. I didn't know, man.
Get out of the car.
I didn't know, officer. I didn't know.
Right now.
Stop moving. Put your hands behind your back then. I'm not going to do nothing. Face in the floor.
Get go home.
Hey, you come back. Stay in the car. Stop resisting, man. I'm not. Yes, you are.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's another lie and game that the police play so they can protect themselves. They'll say, stop resisting when you're not resisting. I've seen this happen time and time again. They want to, these cops not only have camcorders on them, but they have ways that they can record what's happening. And when they have that camera on them, they want to make sure that they say things like, stop resisting. Why are you resisting? What's that in your waist? Because those are all buzzwords for you may have a gun, you may have a weapon. And so you saw that George Floyd, as you see on the video, he was continuing to say, yes, officer, no, officer, please, my mother just died. And then he did talk about having COVID-19 and getting over that and not wanting to, die. So he did make these statements, ladies and gentlemen. But they showed him no reverence. They showed him no type of respect. And this is all over $20 bill. You would have think that George Floyd had did armed robbery in the store, Cups food, which I'm going to say right now, nobody, and I mean just nobody, should shop at that store ever again, in my humble opinion. Nobody. And I truly mean that. Because they treated him terribly, and it did not make any damn sense. So let's get back to this right now as we can. And then the friends that were in the car with George Floyd, I guess he had an ex-girlfriend. Oh, man, the way they were talking and acting, they were damn near buck dancing. And let's go back into it.
Against the wall. Yes.
What I do?
We're figuring out what's going on. Drop the bag.
Figure out what's going on.
Adam,
What's the problem?
Said something to him. It ain't us.
we was getting a ride,
I
sir.
just got my phone fixed. It's my ex-man.
Adam know me.
It's my ex.
Are you good?
He keeps telling me, go get my car.
That's it, man.
Well, they
You
let
can ask
George Floyd
Mr.
out.
ID.
George Floyd to jail.
You can ask Mr. Adam about me.
Do you have ID?
I'm on 38th Street.
320 report for.
You can ask Mr. Adam about me, sir. I just came about the tablet, and when I bought a tablet, it didn't. He didn't
Oh
work.
my God. He didn't even do nothing.
I got one of those, sir.
Do you have ID?
No, I don't. My name's Shawan Hill.
Sir.
Okay.
I just came over to get my phone to see I don't have a purse or nothing.
Mr. Adam
And my
knows
daughter
me,
is on her
man.
way to get me.
What's the deal?
I don't
Mr. Adam knows
know.
me, sir.
That's my ex. I don't know.
Why is he getting all squirrely and not showing us his hands and just being all weird like that?
Because he's been shot before. You know,
Well, I get that, but still, when officers say get out of the car, is he drunk? Is he on something?
Oh, he got.
Okay. Let's go into this right now. This is what officers do. They inject words into your thoughts. One of the things that bothered me is that these folks were hanging out with George, and I guess the other woman was claiming that she was an ex-girlfriend of George Floyd. But you notice she starts saying things like, I don't know. I'm waiting on my daughter to pick me up. Wait a minute. You were in the car with the man. Okay? The other guy that got out, you know, they were quick to give the police their eye. They were quick to kind of separate themselves from whatever was happening with George. Then you had the officers interjecting this thought process that somehow George was on drugs. Oh, is he on drugs? Oh, why is he acting squirrely? And they did that for the purpose of their camera, their camcord. They wanted to put that all out to further create a narrative that George Floyd was completely not only out of his mind, well, not only was he not cooperative, but he was under a list of drugs, right? Because they did talk about drugs in his system and all of that. And then, of course, there was COVID-19. But they trying to paint a picture to make you think that this man was completely out of control. And let me say peace to NQ's World. NQ's World is so good to see you here, sister. I've got to get over to your channel and give you support. But I appreciate you coming over tonight. Tone Malone's in the house. Lady B Unstoppable, thank you, sister, for reminding me that the mute button was on. Definitely keep me honest here. Then we got Accolon. We got, who is this? Okay, looked like to me there was on a cape and it went left, but to kill this man is unacceptable. Echoline, I agree with you. Oh, we got the guy from Texas. It's been a minute since I've seen you, brother. Think it's great to see you over here, guy from Texas. I hope everything is okay with your family, everything with you. We've got the mental ninja who's come into the house. Peace to you. He says it's to cause reasonable doubt. Yes, they do that to cause reasonable doubt in the minds of people. You're absolutely right. Then we've got Sister B's in the house. And we've got, let's see, Lady B Unstoppable. We got Tiffany Jackson in the house, the real Aaron Collin. And we've got Sister Alina B, I believe, but I'll say peace to you in the chat room. Thank you for being here. Peace to you. And peace to everybody that's come over tonight. Do me the biggest favor, too, and do your best to share this in your social media. And I got my man, Guy from Texas, who has just super chatted the program. And I'm going to tell you right now, brother, I appreciate you giving the super chat. And I got to give it a foray. And thank you, brother, for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
Yes, definitely thank you for the super chat, brother. Thank you. Okay, I give you fireworks for that, brother.
Thank you for the super chat.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you for the super chat.
$15 super chat. And there it is, brother. I had to give you all the parade decoratives as possible, brother. Most definitely. I appreciate you doing that tonight, coming over here. I hadn't seen you in a while, and blessing the Information Man show with the $15 super chat. I definitely appreciate that again.
Thank you for the super chat.
Okay. So I'm going to be honest with you all. When you look at George Floyd's friends, who he was associating himself with, they did look a little shady. I got to be honest. They do have a shady look to them, but you don't arrest a man and harass people until you identify that there was a counterfeit bill. Why didn't the store owner come out, present that so it could be tested? Because I believe if had they confirmed that the $20 bill was indeed not legit, or it was legit, you would think that they would have did that kind of investigation to limit this whole interaction the way it went down. And then you had the rookie cop, I don't care if he's a rookie or not, pulled a gun on George. Let's get back to the audio right now.
Going on, I'm telling you
What
about
does that
the
mean?
police. We have problems all the time when they come, especially when that man took that gun like that. It's been one.
What's your first name?
He's pretty good. George Floyd.
What is it?
He's a good guy. George Floyd, she said. Ouchie,
What
man.
are you on something right now?
No, nothing. You acting
Yeah.
erratic.
Let's go.
Yeah, man.
Let's go.
Yeah, man. Yes. I was just moving earlier.
Let's go.
All right, let me calm down now. It's feeling better now.
Keep walking.
Okay, do me one favor, man.
No, when we get to the car, let's get to the car, man. Come on.
Hey, man. Oh, man. God, don't leave me, man. Please, man, leave me, man.
Here. I want to watch that car, see your soul. Yeah, miss.
Stop falling down. Stay on your feet and face the car door.
You get a switch on him?
Please, get out the door, man. I don't want to talk to you, man. Please, let me talk to you, please. You ain't listening to nothing we're saying, so we're not going to listen to nothing you're saying.
Can you watch that car? Just make sure no one goes in it.
I hear you, but you're going to face the door right now.
Listen up. Stop.
I'll do anything. I'll do anything y'all tell me to do, man. I'm not resisting, man. I'm not. You can ask him. He know me, you know.
Step that side.
God.
I want to get everybody's opinion right now. For the purpose of it all, do you believe that George Floyd was resisting based on the footage that I've shown you so far? Because I want to go back to an area of the footage where they kept saying, man, you're on something. The man was obviously in distress. He told the police officers that he was shell shocked from being shot before in the past by police. They pulled a gun out on him. Of course he was going to be shell shocked. And when they got him to the police car, he didn't want to go in the car because he said, I'm claustrophobic. He even asked one of the police, because I saw there's some other footage that I don't have tonight. He even asked one of the cops to come in the car with him to keep him company. So that's a man who's trying to resist arrest is not going to ask the police, well, if you put me in the car, can someone please come in here with me? Okay? A man who's resisting arrest does not behave like that, ladies and gentlemen. I got some more super chats. I got a $19 super chat from Sister BT. I appreciate that.
Thank you for the super chat.
I thank you for the super chat. And as always, like everyone else, I got to give you that beautiful, fireworks for that, sister. Fireworks, most definitely. Appreciate that. Definitely.
Thank you for the super chat.
$19 super chat deserves fireworks. I appreciate that very much so.
Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you, Sister BT. And this is a sister that I know from Twitter, and she's a big part of the ADOS. I want to say shout out to everybody out there, American descendants of slavery. We're doing what we got to do. This country owes us a debt. How many of you all out there, this is getting a little bit off subject matter, but I appreciate that, sister.
Thank you for the super chat.
How many of you out there have seen T.I. cheesing and greasing with Jane Elliott? I saw I think the elder, Baba Rashad, that's my man. I'm going to get him on the show. The elder did a video and he had T.I. on the thumbnail of his video cheesing with Jane Elliott. Very interesting. Now, another man has super chatted me. I can't forget my man, Real Aaron Collins. Yes, indeed.
Thank you for the super chat.
Real Aaron Collins says, these storm troopers in the police department have to be, as he says, have to be held accountable, ladies and gentlemen, have to be held accountable to the highest extent of the law. Real Aaron Collins, you are correct, but I got to give you the most beautiful celebration here for the super chat.
Thank you for the super
for the
chat.
$5 super chat. I appreciate that, brother, tremendously. Thank you. So merging right on back in here, I want to get back to the audio in question here, because I want y'all to see something else that bothered me. And I'm going to ask that question again. In your estimation, do you think George Floyd existed arrest? We got Echo says, I know that's feeling is going to jail is no fun. No, nobody wants to go to jail. It's not a fun experience, not a great experience whatsoever. Let me also say peace to Peggy Roster, who has come into the house, who's come into the program. Everybody give her love. She's a great supporter. Let's see. We've got Mental Ninja, who says they didn't even read him his Miranda rights, which in Minnesota, they are supposed to once you have been placed in custody. Now, you know what? You just made a powerful statement there, because you're right. And you know what I noticed? Nobody in the media has said that. I don't even think I've heard Crump, any of the lawyers, say that they did not read him his Miranda rights. Because when they put you in cuffs and they take you away, they should tell you what they're arresting you for. And in the footage, you never heard the police doing this whole this whole situation say to George Floyd, we are arresting you, we are detaining you, because we believe that you went into the convenience store, this cup store. We believe that you went into the cup store and you presented them with a fake $20 counterfeit bill. And I'm telling you folks out there in Minnesota, if anybody in Minnesota is hearing this or will see this video at some point in time, I'm telling you, good folks out there in Minnesota, in this area of Minneapolis, I always say that wrong, don't shop at cup food stores. They've already have opened the store back up. There's people in the community who don't want this store there. They want it to stay closed because they're angry and they feel that the store is the epicenter of what caused this man's death. People are protesting them. The people who own the store are saying that they're going to stay open despite protest. There's people in the community that says that this store has brought pain to the community, not just this situation, but other situations. I've heard a sister that was on Jason Black's channel who lives out there saying that they sell old food. They cheat people out of money, even though they push the narrative that they're selling people affordable food in the community. Nobody should shop at Cup Foods. The people are upset. I can tell you one way you can get them out of business, ladies and gentlemen, without having to boycott them physically, without having to stand outside the store with signs or barricade with garbage cans like that. And you see the white guy there is very angry at one of the store. I think this is the guy that owns the store. This is how you can do damage to Cup Foods. All you got to do, here's the secret ingredient. All you've got to do in the secret ingredient, all you've got to do is do not, and I repeat, do not patronize the store. Simply don't patronize the store. What do I mean? Don't spend a dime. If everybody in the community don't go in their store, because from what I've heard, they've restocked their store with new food and new goods. If people go in there, don't purchase anything in the store. Stay away from the store. Nada. You will drive them out of business. It's simple business 101 economics. They cannot survive if they do not get support. They cannot survive if they do not have support. I repeat that. They cannot survive if you do not go in there and purchase. Nobody in this area, and this is I'll tell you where this area is according to the reports that I have here, ladies and gentlemen. This particular place is dozens of protesters gathered in front of the store. This past Monday. Store at the intersection of 38th and Chicago on Monday, this past Monday afternoon, demanding that it remains closed. The standoff was tense between the store owners and workers, and there was gunfire that was heard nearby that's been reported when they were out there going at the store owners. And the store owners contend that they have given money to food banks, that they're going to give sensitivity training to their workers and things of that nature. On the night of May 25th, Cuffs Foods employees called the police to report that a man had used a counterfeit $20 bill at the store, according to charges documented at the 9/11 call transcripts, ladies and gentlemen. So that's how you can hurt this store. You hurt them in the pocketbook, and you put them out of business by not spending any money, by not spending a dime. That's how you can do it. You don't have to march out there. You don't have to do anything. You just boycott them economically, and you will drive them out of business, because they can't stay in business if they can't sell goods and they can't pay their bills. It's very simple mathematics. These individuals right here, by all God account, need to go to jail. It's fat. There you have, to the far left of things, is that guy Derek Chauvin, the one that put the knee in George Floyd's neck, as we already know. The individual right here, not everybody that looks like they're your kinfolks are your kinfolks, folks. This so-called brother right here is a Swiss. This brother's from Switzerland. He's Swiss. And, we as ADOS, American descendants of slavery, we understand that you have other black folks who come over here who may not always be on the same page with you, may not always be on code with you. I'm not saying everybody, but in the case of this dude, he's not. And he was let out of jail on bail, walking around in a store. And you saw this footage on all the social media. I think it was a white woman. They confronted him and said, "You ought to be ashamed of yourself. What are you doing out?" Then you had Lane, this guy right here, the white guy right here. Lane was the one who first, I believe, came up to George Floyd's door of his car, pointing the gun at him. And of course, I can't think of his name, but the Asian guy to the far right, he stood there watching this the whole time. And he also was telling the brother that was telling him, "Hey, you guys are bums for what you did," telling them to back up. Remember, saying back up and all that kind of. And once again, this whole coalition about we're a rainbow coalition, inclusiveness, we got other we're people of color. No, get that word out of your vocabulary. Please get that word out of your vocabulary, that people of color stuff, because there is no such thing, because you have other people who don't go through the things that black people go through. When you use the term people of color, you are including other people of ethnic backgrounds who do not catch the same hell and treatment that we catch. So you're putting everybody in the same bag with you, and that ain't always the facts. Okay? It's not always the facts, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get back. I'm going to go back to that audio and just play it, a little bit of it again. I know most of you get it by now, what's happening here.
Ouchie,
What,
man.
are you on something right now?
No, nothing.
You acting all erratic.
Man,
Let's go.
Yeah, man.
Let's go.
God, man. Yes. Yes, I was just moving earlier.
Let's go.
All right, let me come on down now. This is a little better now.
Keep walking.
Right, okay, now, do me one favor, man.
No, when we get to the car, let's get to the car, man. Come on.
Dang, man. Oh, man. God, don't leave me, man. Please, man, leave me, man.
Here. I want to watch that car, too, so get a miss.
Stop falling down. Stay on your feet and face the car door.
You get a search on him?
Please, can I talk to you, man? I just want to talk to you, man. Please, let me talk to you, please.
You ain't listening to nothing we're saying, so we're not going to listen to nothing you're saying.
Can you watch that car? Just make sure no one goes in it.
I hear you, but you are going to face the door right now.
Listen up. Stop.
I'll do anything. I'll do anything y'all tell me to do, man. I'm not listening, man. I'm not. You can ask him. He know me, you
Check
know.
that side.
God, man, I'm going to do nothing like that, y'all. Why is it going on like this? Look at my wrist was all.
Information is power.
Okay, I'm back, folks. So there it is right there. George Floyd was pleading with them. They said they would not listen to anything he had to say. They showed him no empathy, no reverence, no sympathy. They did not even want to look at this man and say, look, this man has already told us that he's claustrophobic, that he's a little frightened. This is a man who said he's been shot by police before. This is a man who has only been accused of presenting a $20 bill that was stated as being counterfeited by one of these despicable individuals from the Cup food store. They never read him, as Mental Ninja stated earlier in the chat room, and shout out to Mental Ninja. They never read him his Miranda rights. That's wrong. That's a violation already. You never heard them say in that situation to him, this is why we are arresting you, George. Now, it may seem like I'm regurgitating this all over again, that we know all of this, but, you know, we have to examine this because this is leaked. This is new footage that came out. We didn't get this perspective earlier. We saw the videotape of them bringing him out of the car. That was a silent videotape, but it didn't go into this kind of detail with the audio. So it puts a lot of perspective. And when they released the transcripts, I believe a month ago, it came out in the wash that now I understand why they said that George Floyd was pleading for his life 20 times overall to the cops. So they gave the man no care. We got Underrated Darkness, who's coming to house. Peace to you. Says he's back. We got Taz, the exclusive, who's in the house. Peace to you, Taz, the exclusive. Taz, let me mod you up, brother. Been a minute since I've seen you. So Taz, the exclusive, is coming to house to the presentation. Appreciate you coming over, brother, and giving your support tonight. We got Underrated Darkness. We got Jasmine Virgo, who's coming to house. We've got who else is in there? I want to get to the other footage. This is what I'm going to do right now, everybody. Let me get into the other footage related to the family. Let me read something to you because I still got to go through that footage, and then I'm going to let you play the audio of the mother or the aunt who gives you more detail as to what the Aurora cops in Colorado, what they did, which is a shame. Now, let me say this too. There's a study that just came out about the Midwest. And the study says that one of the reasons why black people find themselves being impacted by police is because, and you may agree with this or disagree with this, is because there's very little black police that are policing black communities. You have majority white men that are policing black communities. So you have people policing us who can't sympathize and empathize with us because they're not from our culture. They have no love for us. You have racism, you have white supremacy, you have all these things wrapped up in there, okay? You don't have enough black police. Now, the theory goes, and I heard Pharaoh says that, make these statements, so shout out to him, that if we had more, quote unquote, revolutionary brothers who infiltrated the system, meaning what? Infiltrate law enforcement, infiltrate the jury system, infiltrate the legal system, infiltrate the political system, like the spook that's set next to the door. How many of you in there have seen the movie The Spook that's set next to the door? If you have, put a 1 in the chat room, because in that movie, he was a brother who had the Uncle Tom look, and he acted like he was a sellout, and he did that on purpose to get all that knowledge. And then what did he end up doing? He ended up going back to the community and teaching the brothers in the community all the military tricks, all the CIA, all the stuff to fortify them in the community. And so his whole philosophy is that if we had, you got to do more than just pick up guns. Like the militia that went out there to Stone Mountain, you got to do more than just do a demonstration with guns. But now what do you do next? You got to infiltrate these systems. And I think that that's an interesting point for this reason. Whether you disagree with me or not, or Pharaoh says that. It's an interesting point for this reason, ladies and gentlemen. And that is white groups, the skinheads, the Ku Klux Klans, the Aryan Brotherhood. I know this personally because I deal with these guys in my work capacity. They have infiltrated police departments, politics. What do you think the alt-right is all about? They have infiltrated all these different areas. And I know I've said in the past that the police, the military, all of these are protective structures and outer protective structures and protective structures of white supremacy. That's their army, the gangs on the street. That's their goons on the street. They have all these different structures that maintain the system. But it works for them because the hate groups have infiltrated all these areas of activity in our society. So when black people, when we go into housing, when we need a bank loan, if a white supremacist person is sitting behind a booth with a suit on, then of course they're not going to give you that bank loan. Of course they're going to discriminate against you in employment and housing because they're in a position of power to make decisions, because they have infiltrated these areas in our society, like policing, with the goal of messing with black people with a badge to get away with it with a badge. So the question is, do we need more black people? Just a thought, ladies and gentlemen. Do we need more black men and women who have, first of all, not just any black person, who have a revolutionary mindset, meaning their goal is to go into these areas of activity with the goal of making it better for black people? So, for example, if you get stopped by a black cop who has a revolutionary mindset, not one of these sellout cops like you saw on Boys in the Hood. Remember that scene on Boys in the Hood? Not those type of black cops, but a black cop who has a revolutionary mindset. Let's say he stops you, but he doesn't give you the ticket. Let's say that revolutionary thinking cop is there to stop the other cop from putting hands on you the wrong way or something of that nature. So maybe if we had black men in the police department, and I know this is far-fetched in a lot of ways because we don't have enough people of this thinking. And they were to infiltrate these systems so that it works in our favor. Because look at a place like Ferguson. Remember Ferguson, Missouri? Ferguson, most of the people that were getting all the tickets in Ferguson were black people. But the majority of the police in that black community were white men. I know in Baltimore, Maryland, where I was born, the majority of the police are white. A small number are black. And therefore, you have white police occupying black communities throughout the city in the places in Baltimore, Maryland, for example. So just get what I'm saying. I'm talking about black people who have a revolutionary black first mindset, not just any black person. That's key. And that's infiltrating all areas of activity in this society, whether it be the military, whether it be the police department, whether it be the city government, schools, everything, whether it be on juries, because we know why are black people going to jail? Because you usually have juries that are made up of people who don't understand your plight. They're not from your community. They don't think like you, and they don't have a revolutionary mindset. So, of course, they're going to chump up your charges, and I see it all the time when I look at the data and the numbers where I'm at, okay? And when I'm talking to brothers that I deal with, and my revolutionary mindset that I have is I'm trying to encourage the brothers who I deal with to get out of prison, never to come back to prison, preparing them for transition, job training, education, thought. So what I do in my capacity is to encourage brothers to get out of that environment, to help them maintain dealing with that environment because it's stressful mentally for them, psychologically for them. So that's what I can do in my contribution and trying to help from what my vantage point. That's the philosophy around it. So I know I said a mouthful there, but let me get into this next audio with the children. Let me just read this real quick. Aurora, Colorado Police Department has apologized for handcuffing and holding a black family, including a 12-year-old, a 17-year-old, at gunpoint. See, they always putting guns on us, right? So think about it. What if you had black cops with a revolutionary mindset who would have never pulled guns on their own people like that with a be first mindset? That's the key. But outrage continues to brew over the treatment of the family and the distrust of the Aurora police, who have a history of mistreating black people. Sparked in 2019 death, another black man, Elijah McClain, after they took him into custody, and of course they injected him with drugs. Aurora police on Sunday stopped Brittany Gilman and her 4 nieces, Brittany, who I'm going to play her audio in a minute, ranging from ages 6, 17, 14, 12 in a parking lot, and forced the girls, who can be heard screaming and crying, ladies and gentlemen, to lie on the hot pavement and handcuffed. The 12-year-olds and the 17-year-olds as well. Unfreaking believable. I'm going to play that audio for you. Now, there it is. They are attacking what we would call soft targets. They're going after our women. They're going after our children. And I got to be honest, I do think some of these things, this is going to continue happening. I've said this before, because with all the protesting that's been going on, for every action, there's a reaction. And I believe some of this that's happening is almost like a payback. So you got to be on the lookout that there are going to be people out there who want to get some payback because they don't like what's going on. They don't want to take an L. And so it's easy to go after women and children and mess with our women and our children. Because by doing that, they're trying to send a message to us black men. They're trying to say, hey, we can get to your women. We can get to your children. You've got no power. You've got no legitimacy here. They treated them as if they were slaves on a plantation, children on the ground like that. Let's get into the audio, the video right now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here. We got Jasmine Virgo in the house. BT is in the house. Sister BT. Brittany Dunn's in the house. Let's go right into this right now. Here we go.
If you're not involved, please step back. Okay, I'm going with you. Can I get you guys off the ground? Yes, I want to get off. You have guns on. You want to sit up? I'll help you up. Ma'am, put that down on you so you don't have to wait. I'm not going to take you away from your child,
Now, I'm going to roll some of that back, but this is really, let me go right back to here. Let me hang on for 1 minute. I want to stop it right there for the effect of what you need to see here. You see the kids have their hands behind their back. They're being treated as criminals. We're talking about a 6-year-old kid, and one of the children had, like a little angel head, little princess crown on too. And the audio clip that you're going to hear is probably going to make you more angry than just the visual of this, because the mother is going to break down exactly what was going on. She said that they drew guns on this family. This was all over a question of a stolen vehicle. They made a claim. The police department made a claim that they believed that the family was driving a stolen vehicle. But come to find out, ladies and gentlemen, that the stolen vehicle was actually a motorcycle. They claimed that the license plate on this car was similar to the license plate of the motorcycle. And then the police chief in Aurora, Colorado, had the audacity to say that, the police are trained when we have serious situations like this to draw their guns when you have a very serious situation. You have children in the car. What is dangerous about these kids in the car? Matter of fact, they went out to get their nails done. It was a girls' day out, I believe. It was a children's day out with their family in a car that belongs to them. And you saw that the cops had the nerve to say, oh, do you want me to set you up? Do you want me to do this? I mean, unbelievable. And then you got people out here who got the nerve to tell me and you, ladies and gentlemen, that they're not bad cops out there. They're good cops. Where the hell were the good cops again? Again. One more time, again. In this situation with this family, where were they at to stop this? That's why I'm saying, what if you had revolutionary thinking black cops, be first black cops? I would bet that they wouldn't be on the ground like this. I'm not talking about the black cops out there that will just follow with what the other cops are doing. No, I'm talking about revolutionary thinking black cops. If you're gonna go with that theory, that would work. Because right now in the Midwest, all these cities like Chicago, where black people are at, they're being overwhelmingly controlled and ran and run by white men in law enforcement, going into communities that they're not from, they have no sympathy and empathy for, and they treat us as if we are throwaway people. Throwaway. Let me go back to this again. Listen to this right here. She said, can I, once again, black people begging and screaming and yelling, help me, please, let us Unbelievable. So they're talking about calling their auntie. Unfreaking believable. So this is the question, everybody. Anybody in the chat room? How you doing, Sister Tisha? And we got Black Man who's coming in the house. We got Laughing in the Rain is in the house. Earl Owens has been in and out tonight. Thank you for being here, brother. Real Aaron Collins. We've got Ass Taiwan in the house. Peace to you. Thank you for being here. Make sure you share this video in all of your social media. Make sure that you hit the bell of notification if you're new to the channel. Subscribe to the Information Man Show. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification. And I got to say this once again. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight because this is difficult. Now, if you don't have a heart out there, if what you witness on this video does not capture your heart of concern, then you are a devil in my mind. If this doesn't speak volumes, and I've been saying this, you're going to see more attacks on black children and mothers. I said this way back when, that when we go out, we have to be very careful in our movement. It does not mean that you walk around scared and paranoid, but you need to be aware. Now, the question is, if this was a white family, what this had happened to this family? If this was a white family, would they had guns drawn on them by the police like that? Wouldn't they been allowed to come out? Wouldn't the police come up to the car and said, ma'am, we've got a report that the car might be possibly stolen. Can you at least show us some identification and proof that it's your car? Why didn't the police just simply go up to the car, let the adult person know that someone's claiming that the car might be stolen, that we're got some license plate issues here, and they could have talked to them, handled them very respectfully, but instead they drew guns on them. Once again, black people are always getting guns drawn on us, whether it be black men, black women, and this time black children, age 17, 6, 12, and 14. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. If you believe that a white family would have been treated better than this, put a yes in the chat room. If they were white kids in the car, would they have been treated in this despicable, disrespectful manner? Put a yes for yes and a no for no. If you say no, you need to get the hell out of the channel. Let us know. Yes. So everybody is saying yes, that would be the case. Most definitely that would be the case. There's no doubt about it in my mind that it would definitely be the case. Like I said before, ladies and gentlemen, this is a shame. It makes just about no bit of any good difference whatsoever. So what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to play the audio for you to hear. It's about 12 minutes. I want you all to hear the audio. I believe this was the aunt or the mother giving further detail as to what happened to her family. This is a damn shame. There's no doubt in my mind.
How are the little ones? How's the 6-year-old? And then how are they, what are they, 12, 14, 17? How are they doing? Are they eating? Are they sleeping? How are they handling this?
They barely eat. They rarely sleep. They're very in a traumatic state right now. So it's not even just like, you know, how they're doing, because they're not doing good at all. I mean, who would, what kid would, what child would, what parent would in that particular position?
What adult would? I mean, how are you doing?
I'm overwhelmed with emotions right now. Besides being traumatized by everything that happened and having to see those kids go through that, not only me, but those kids, I'm traumatized. I'm not okay. I've got so many other different emotions going within my body right now. It's hard to explain.
What's the hardest part for you emotionally?
I guess trying to balance everything out. Like, you know, hearing the video, it's like you feel powerless. As a parent, you know, you try to protect your child at every cost. And those were my kids. And that particular one, those were my kids. And I felt powerless. I felt dehumanized. And I couldn't protect them from anything that was going on. And it was all over a mistake.
What did you think was going to happen?
I thought like one of us was going to seriously get hurt. One of the kids or me going to get hurt because they came in with their guns drawn. I felt like, you know, my life was flashing before my eyes. Like it's very difficult to put yourself in that pot of racism that happened, but I had to put myself in that pot that I might not live another day. These kids might not live another day over a mistake.
So let's talk about the mistake. Tell us what happened.
So I was taking the girls to have like a little Sunday fun day, and we decided to go to a nail shop. Now, when we had first got there, I didn't call the particular nail shop that was like, you know, down the street from the house. So we just pulled up in the parking lot, but it's the same parking lot as the Arc thrift store and McDonald's. And I had my niece go get out and check because, like I said before, I didn't call. So she got a car and went to go check and see, like, you know, if the nail shop was open. And she came back in the car. Was like, no, it's not open. So, you know, I'm scrolling. I look down, scrolling through my phone, and I'm like, you know, searching for other places to go. I find another place to go, and I call it like, you know, hey, can you get 4 or 5 people in at this point? They tell me, yeah. So I was trying to get ready to leave. But then before I did that, like, you know, I was just like, wait, give me a second. I put the car was already in park, and I rolled the windows down, and I turned the vehicle off. So then the kids was like, I just seen a gentleman on my left side, and he looked at me and he said something like, I'm going to record. And at first I'm just thinking like, I don't know what he's talking about, but okay, like, you know, go ahead, record with your life. But then, like, you know, I put my head back down in my phone, and, you know, my niece starts screaming, and I'm telling her, like, what's going on? What's going on? What's wrong with you? And she's like, the police. I said, okay, what about the police? She said, they're behind us. Well, they're probably just doing some type of investigation. I'm not going to go looking or bother getting out the car to go look for anything that caused trouble. So she's like, no, they got their guns drawn on us. And so I so happened to look out the window, and, like, you know, I yell out at the officer, why do you have your guns drawn? What is going on? He didn't respond. And then he, like, repeated, it's like, you know, everybody put their hands out the vehicle. So then out the windows and everything like that, so we all proceeded to do that. And then out of nowhere, he was just like, everybody now, people start stepping out. So I was like, my niece started to get out. My eldest niece started to get out the vehicle. She opened the door. So I tried to reach for her, and I was like, no, you're not going nowhere. Like, he hasn't told us. No one's told us what's going on. We don't have, he's not telling us what the reason he got his gun drawn, and you trying to get out the car. No, he needs to tell us what's going on. So I yelled out, what's going on? He didn't respond. So then my niece started screaming, and I said, I need you to calm down. And so she's like, no, Auntie, she's like, I can't because, it's another officer that got their gun drawn on me. So I said, okay, you know what? Just forget it. Imani, get out the car. Listen to what they say. They tell Imani to get out. Then they go to my little sister, Nakaya. She then gets out. And then my niece, Tariana. But before she gets out, I'm telling my niece, Tariana, hey, get your phone, start recording. And so she was like, okay. So she pulled her hands back in from the window. And he started screaming and yelling, get your hands out the window, get your hands out the window. So,
now, just to be very clear, Brittany, we're dealing with a car filled with women, okay? A 6-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 17-year-old, and you.
Yes, correct.
And this is how they are handling it, and they're not giving you any directions, and eventually they get you out of the car?
Yes, so eventually they get all of us out the vehicle. And then they told me to get out the vehicle, and when I proceeded to get out the vehicle, they told me to get on the ground. So I was like, I start walking towards him, the officer that had his gun drawn on me. But then when I was walking, I guess I was walking too fast because he's like, you're moving too fast. So then he's like, no, get on your knees. And I was like, I got on my knees, but I was turned backwards. And then so he's like, no, I need you to turn my way. And I was like, you didn't say that. You just say, get on your knees. So then, when I got on my knees and I turned around, I placed my hands right before, right above my knees. And so he was like, he kept yelling, I can't see your hands. I can't see your hands. So I slammed my hands on the concrete. There's no way you can't see my hands. You can't see my hands. And I pick my hands up. You tell me you cannot see my hands. I don't have nothing on me. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. What's you still haven't told me what's going on. So then he started to handcuff me, and he started to say this vehicle is stolen. And I was like, this vehicle is not stolen. You're going to have to prove to me that this vehicle is stolen. I'm driving this vehicle. This is my vehicle. This vehicle is not stolen. So then he's like, it's stolen. And he's like, I'm going to get you to the car. So I was like, no, you don't have to get me to the car. And then all I hear is the kids crying and screaming. So then I see them over top of the kids. So, I start walking towards the kids, and he grabbed me. He's like, no, we escorting you to the car. I was like, you don't have to escort me to do nothing. Don't touch me. You don't have to touch me at all. I can perfectly finally walk my way. We all complied with you. And I said, do you need to verify anything? I said, I complied. Do you need to verify the license, registration? What is there that you need to do? Because you have a gun on kids and you have them in handcuffs. He's like, I'm going to handle it the way he's going to handle it his way. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So then I wouldn't go to the vehicle, the police vehicle. So then he had asked another officer to escort me. So 2 officers then escorted me to the vehicle. And then when I got in the back of the vehicle, I was just sitting there for some minutes. And then it came back that everything, that the vehicle was clear.
I cannot believe. While you're speaking, Brittany, put the video up again. I have never seen, except maybe in an immigration situation, I've never seen. Look at this 6-year-old. What are you thinking when you are seeing your 6-year-old laying on the ground at the feet of the police?
I'm helpless. I'm helpless, and I'm devastated. I'm at the weakest at my point. I ain't never felt so embarrassed, humiliated, and dehumanized in my entire life. I was just another little black girl. That little girl was just another little black girl that you didn't give 2 cares about. None of them girls.
Now the police say, Brittany, the police say this. We've been training our officers that when they contact a suspected stolen car, they should do what is called a high-risk stop. This involves drawing their weapons and ordering all occupants to exit the car and lie prone on the ground. But we must allow our officers to have discretion and to deviate from this process when different scenarios present themselves. I've already directed my team to look at new practices and training. That's from the police chief, Vanessa Wilson, in their statement to CNN.
Yeah.
What is your response?
Can I be honest?
Please.
She can shove it. She can shove it.
Right.
Because she contradicted herself. When she made her apology to me, she went on the same way the lieutenant and the sergeant said. It was protocol at a high risk. At a high risk stop, they're supposed to draw their guns. You're trying to justify the fact that it's okay from them grown people to draw their gun on my kids. I can understand if you drew the gun on me, on just myself, and it's like, ma'am, I'm going to need you to step out the vehicle. You never once asked for a license or a registration. You never once tried to change the route or anything. It was 5 officers on the scene at that point. Not one officer changed the route of what it was going.
When did they apologize?
And then when they apologized, it was like 2 hours after the fact. And they didn't apologize to everyone. They apologized to my little sister, they handcuffed, and my niece that they handcuffed. And then he was like, oh, but it was only one officer that apologized and was like, I feel bad because what I did was wrong. I was wrong. And then, they proceeded to walk away. And then the lieutenant and sergeant, they did apologize. But then, like I said, I didn't want to accept their apology because I felt like you're justifying the fact, like, you're trying to explain to me, like, it's okay what they did over a mistake. But you can't even tell me how that mistake happened. And you can't even put yourself in my shoes as a human. As a Black woman, you can't put your feet in my shoes.
You think it would have happened if there were 4 white girls in the car?
No, it would never happen if it was 4 white girls in the car. They would have treated it as a regular traffic stop.
Right.
Regular traffic stop, not a high-risk traffic stop, a regular traffic stop. You seen 4 Black girls, 5 Black girls in the vehicle, and you decided to proceed the way you did. And at the point where you saw those kids get out the vehicle, you should have stopped right there. You should have undrew your gun. You should have, like, you know what, I'm going to have a kid step to the side, and ma'am, I'm going to need you to step out the vehicle. Not once did anybody state that. It's not my duty to do your job for you. I shouldn't have to tell you, do you want to see, and ask you, do you want to see my license or registration? That's your job as an officer. You never once asked.
Information
That's what they're supposed to ask
power.
first. That's what they're supposed to ask first.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Okay, everybody. So you heard the details for yourself. You've seen the video. Most of you have seen this video even prior to me showing this tonight. I'm curious, though, how many of you in the chat room, prior to me showing the video footage tonight, had seen this video footage prior to tonight's show? If you have seen it already prior to the show, put a yes. I'm just curious to see if there's anybody that this was the first time them hearing about this, or maybe even seeing the video footage that I showed tonight. So some folks have never heard about it, and some folks have not. We got the goals rain that came in the house. No, so a lot of you didn't even know about the case or didn't even see the footage that I played tonight. It is something I'm going to have to put this back up here just one more time and let you guys see it just one more time. As disgusting as it is, you heard the mother breaking it down, giving more details. I think that's the mother or the aunt giving more details as to how the police actually treated them horribly. Let's give the visual again for some of you who might have come into the chat and didn't see the video yet. Let me just show it to you one more time before I end the program tonight.
If you're not involved, please step back. Okay, move it here. No. Can I get you guys off the ground? Yes, I want to get off. This is some bull. You have guns on. You want to get up? I'll help you. Put that down on you so you don't have to wait. I'm not going to take you away from your child, okay?
All right, I got to stop that because it's very difficult to watch that again. But I just wanted to play some of that for those of you who might have come into the chat a little late and you might have missed when I played it earlier tonight as I'm getting close to the conclusion of this program tonight. What about, let me do another survey. The George Floyd footage, the new footage, the one that was leaked that I showed tonight. How many of you, be honest, how many of you already had seen that footage? Not the audio, but actually had a chance to not only see to hear the audio, but now to get the footage tonight. How many of you, for the first time you saw this tonight, or you already seen it already prior to me presenting that tonight? By a show of votes, say yes, no, you know the things to say. I'm just curious. No. No, Earl Owens did not see it. Okay. No. So I'm seeing a lot of no's in the chat room right now, which tells me that I'm doing public good here by making you all aware of this information. It shows that I'm doing public good. I don't mean to get people upset. I know it's upsetting to look at kids screaming, crying, asking to get up, being treated as if they're animals. And as you heard on the audio that I played, they drew guns on them, never gave them a choice. And you heard her say that if they were a white family, this would have never happened to them. You also heard the family member say, Brittany was her name. You also heard her make reference to the fact that she didn't take kindly to the words of the police department and their bullshit apology. She did not like their apology. She does not accept their apology. And I'm glad that she didn't buck dance on that she's staying strong to her convictions and not saying, okay, I accept their apology. No, what they did is wrong. Now, she has a lawyer. They have lawyered up, and I hope that they sue the police department in Arroyo for every nickel, dime, penny. I hope they sue them for everything, for their socks, their drawers, their clothes, their houses, their cars, every goddamn thing, everything. Even if the police department got to go out of business, they deserve what they get. We got Marlo's music channel who is saying to me, share this information is the first step to change. Yes, share the information. We got Light Bears in the house. Peace to you, sister. Haven't seen you around here in quite some time. Glad to see you here. We got Lady Leg 75 who's come in the house. Lady Leg 75, you're going to have to watch this video over again because I put a lot of important things in this video that you have already missed in terms of footage of that you need to look at in terms of George Floyd. I put material in here as it relates to the family in Colorado, in Arroyo, Colorado, who were mistreated by the police, put on the ground in handcuffs. And matter of fact, folks, when they were put on that ground, the asphalt was super hot because it's in the middle of the summer. It's super hot. So they were burning on their bellies on hot asphalt, being treated like this by that despicable police department. I've got to be honest. I've got to tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
I would not be an honest broker.
Tell the truth.
If I did not tell the truth about that situation. So definitely share this video. I'm glad that I was able to provide some information tonight that gave people who had not seen the video footage or knew about this story. I'm glad that I was able to do my job in bringing you information that is informative for you to do more further research on. Let me remind you again. Let me ask everybody right now, let me take another survey. How many of you were aware of the protest that's been going on around the Cup Food store in Minnesota, in this area, Minneapolis? How many of you are aware that people have been protesting that don't want this store to be open? If you were aware of that, put a yes or no in the chat room. Maybe you weren't aware of that. And I had said earlier tonight, the way to destroy this store is to do no business there, spend no money. The people are upset. So the people feel that the store is partially to blame for George Floyd's death. I believe that they are a single strong factor because that's the epicenter of the bullshit. And I find it once again disturbing that no one has shown or come up. Where is the $20 bill? Where is the counterfeit bill? Why hasn't no evidence been brought forth of the $20 bill? Where is it? You don't hear anybody in the news and the media asking that most important question. Then you had Mental Ninja. I'm going to repeat again. He says something very important tonight. On the footage, they did not read George Floyd his Miranda rights. Let me put this back up here one more time. Let's see this one more time.
I see your hands. Stay in the car. Let me see your other hand. I'm sorry.
Okay, he played a lot of games with him, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you why. First, he told him, let me see your hands, right? Then he told him to stay in the car. Then he told him to get out of the car. So he added a certain stress level of confusion to George. He kept telling George to do one thing, then he would tell him to do the opposite. Then on top of that, he drew a gun on him. Then he had his little billy club that he tapped on his window. So in this process, he never read him his Miranda rights. Let me just go back into this. I'm not going to play the whole video. Just going to let you guys see the sequence of the fact that he did not read the Miranda rights to him.
Your other hand. Please, was on both hands.
Whoa, right there, right there, right there. Boom. Let me bring that back. Right there, you see the gun being drawn on him. I'm moving it around. See that? He drew a gun on him. Why was it necessary? Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Let me bring this over here. Look at that. There's the gun right there. Why was it necessary to do that to this man? Did he pose a threat? As you can hear him saying, let's play this back again. Just this little part. I should have broke this down earlier in the show.
Let me see your other hand. Please, was on both hands. Put your hands up right now.
Right there, he put a gun. So the police officer pulled a gun out. George Floyd was saying, please, officer, I didn't do nothing. And you see his hands are up. First, he told him to put his hands up. George put his hands up. Then he told George to put his hands on the steering wheel. First of all, he had his hands on the steering wheel, and he says, put them up. Then he said, put them back on the steering wheel. Then George Floyd like he was on a plantation, a slave plantation. And this is no making fun of him, but I'm just saying this is how it sounds. He says, please, please, please. And then throughout all that transaction of pleasing and saying, yes, officer, then the officer pulled a gun on him, which is why George said, hey, I've been shot before. Check this out again.
Let me see your other hand.
All right. What I do though? What we do?
Put your hand up there.
All right, stop it right there again. I should have did this in the beginning. You can hear George saying again, what did I do? They never read him as the Miranda rights. They never told him what he did. But they pulled a gun on him unprovoked. He was pleading with them several times, asked what did he do, and the officers never told him, we're stopping you because you had a counterfeit bill. Here's your Miranda rights. Question is, if a man had a $20 bill that was counterfeit, why would you need to put a gun on him? Why would you need to do that? Why wouldn't you just get him out the car, bring the store clerk out, have the store clerk present the fake dollar bill, have the police test it to see if it's fake, and if it was fake, George could be on his way. They didn't have to draw out weapons. They didn't have to pull him all out of his car the way they did. They didn't have to even handcuff him. Matter of fact, you didn't see George Floyd in any way or fashion try to run from the police. I'm going to stop it right there. I think everybody gets the gist of what I'm trying to say tonight. Everything about this, from its execution, everything about what they did to Brother George Floyd was wrong in its execution, in its process, completely wrong. They are completely wrong for what they did to the brother. There's no doubt in my mind, and there's no coming back from this type of crap. As far as I'm concerned, there's no coming back from this. What they did with him was completely wrong. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is my presentation tonight. Thank you for being up late with me tonight. The Information Man Show. Do your best to do me the greatest favor, and that's share this video in your social media, on everything, Twitter, Facebook, just about everything. Another thing too, I got an audio of Mark Zuckerberg, who owns Facebook, as he was being jammed up by, let's see, who jammed him up? Maxine Waters and a couple other politicians. And after listening to what I listened to, and I caught the footage of that, and I will probably release that as a podcast on this channel, an audio podcast for you to listen to. I now understand why Facebook is always censoring black people, censoring our material. When you hear the connection of who is doing the fact checking for them and what their connections are, now you'll understand that if you are a black person on Facebook, you will understand even more why your material gets censored on Facebook, even if the material is based in truth, not lies. So I thank everybody for coming over tonight. This was a great program tonight. Appreciate you, all of you, being a part of it tonight. It's been great. And we're going to do this again. We're going to do this again like this. I really appreciate everybody. And I want to say take care, peace and love to all of you out there, your families. I'm going to say be safe. They are attacking the soft targets, which are our women, our children. They catch them while they're by themselves. They catch them while they're doing their leisure, like going to get their nails done, whatever it may be. And what they did in Aurora, Colorado is despicable. With the police and with the footage that you've seen, these police officers, what they did warns them to go to jail for a very long time, the rest of their life, as far as I'm concerned. It warns all of those things, as far as I'm concerned. So peace to Earl Owens. I want to say peace to Tiffany Jackson, Real Aaron Collins, Tisha, Jasmine Virgo, everybody that's come in like Bearer, who came in, Lady Leg 75, peace to you. I know you from Brother Sanchez, so I got much respect for you. Marlo's music channel, I got much respect for you too. And we got Almi, Sister B. I got much respect for you as well. Everybody for coming over tonight, this late night. We got the storm that's coming in the house as well. Peace to you. I know it's late for everybody. Ask Tawana. Ask Tawana is in the house. Wait a minute. Is that Ask Tawana that I know? Oh yeah. What's going on, Tawana? I'm peace to you, sister. I'm sorry. Need to give you some more respect on that. Peace to you, and definitely love to you. Thank you for being here.
Tell the truth.
Ask Tawana's come in the house. Make sure you check out each other's channels. Keep ADOS great. Thank you for coming over. Keep ADOS great. I like that too. Definitely keep it great. So they definitely, they did this brother wrong, as we already know. They did George Floyd completely wrong. That's the actual mural on the back of that despicable store, the side of that despicable store. People wanted to stay up as a memorial to him, but they do not like the store itself or the people who operate and run it. They have been protesting that right now. The city is trying to make a decision as to what they're going to do because there's so much protest against cup foods. And I don't blame the citizens out there for feeling the way they do. I would feel the same way as well as they do. And it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It is definitely what it is. So with that said, let me get on out of here and see what I can make it do. Peace to you, everybody. I appreciate everybody's input tonight in the chat room and saying the things that you were saying in the chat room and contributing to the program. Once again, as a reminder to everybody, I want everybody to come back. Hopefully we'll have a nice crowd this upcoming Sunday when I interview the brother from Socks and Sandals podcast. He's the brother that originally was interviewing Jane Elliott on his channel, and I'm going to pick his brain about that particular interview and what was his thoughts about Jane and some of the things that she said that I believe were problematic, that were contradictory. She basically felt that the Native Americans should get reparations, and I went over documents showing you that they had already been getting reparations. Black people are the only ones who have been getting nothing, nada. They've been treating us very poorly. So with that said, everybody, peace and love to you. Share the video. This has been a great night. Thank you. Peace to you, everybody. Peace. Good night. Enjoy the city scenes.
Information is power. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.